Time now to go inside out as we're joined by SNY NBA insider Eamon Begley from Madison Square Garden. And Ian, so many twists and turns in this game. What was the key for the Knicks recovering from letting it slip away in regulation and outlasting the Celtics in double OT?
Well, to me, Derrick Rose came in that second overtime. He steadied the ship. Julius Randle, Evan Fournier continued to make plays, but I think Rose really settled everything down in that second OT, got the Knicks where they needed to be. Things got so sloppy late in that fourth quarter, and they traded threes in that first overtime, but I really think Rose was the difference there down the stretch for New York.
Evan Fournier wasn't too worried about his poor shooting in the preseason, and it's safe to say he knows his own game pretty well. Ian, not a bad way to win over your new fans by knocking down 6 threes and going for 32.
Remarkable. And so many of those shots were huge threes that tied the game, gave the Knicks a slight lead. He just hit shot after shot after shot. And I think what you like if you're the Knicks is he and Julius Randle had a really nice kind of dribble handoff game. Randle was able to give Fournier space several times beyond the arc, and Fournier was knocking shots down. So those two haven't played a lot together at all, but it seems like they're getting a rhythm early on.
All right, it was a win. It was an exciting win. It was a great way to start the season, but it should have been a win in regulation. Let's get to the end of regulation. What was more head-scratching for you? All the sloppy turnovers or not fouling on Boston's final possession?
Well, you know what Tom Thibodeau said? The Knicks actually wanted to foul on that final possession. I think Jason Tatum slipped on that final possession, causing some confusion. Evan Fournier took responsibility after the game because he came up and doubled, and that shouldn't have happened. So that was a mess. There were a couple bad turnovers down the stretch that were very messy. This was certainly not a tape that Tom Thibodeau is going to want to watch again and again in the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. But give the Knicks credit for regrouping, because this is a game. This is the kind of game that they won a lot last season, but the Knicks teams, probably 10 years before Thibodeau, 10 straight years, they're losing that game 10 out of 10 times. So this is a credit to Thibodeau and what he's instilled in this group, kind of focusing possession on possession, moment by moment, and getting the job done.
All right, Ian, we all know that the NBA season's a marathon, so we're not going to get too carried away by one exciting win. But being around this group before the game in the preseason leading up to it and then after they had the win, how much can they sort of build off this win and cement what they believe they can do this year?
It can only help, right? Because this is a tough Boston Celtics team. Jaylen Brown was going crazy in the first half. They were able to slow him down. Jason Tatum had an off night, thanks in part to R.J. Barrett's defense. So there's a lot to build off of here, including that small lineup that Thibodeau went to in the third quarter that I thought really changed the game. R.J. Barrett got going, had 14 points in the third. Obi Toppin really forced the Celtics defense to react, and that's what changed this thing until obviously things got crazy late in the fourth. But I think that small lineup is something that you may see moving forward here for the Knicks.